Welcome back to Engineered World Pilates. So today I'm going to give you a series of exercises that you can perform in a chair. So any chair that you might have in your kitchen or your dining room. Ideally it's going to be quite firm structure, so with a solid back as opposed to your comfy sofa. And we're going to work the whole body from the abs to the glutes, a bit of stretching, so you should feel really good at the end of this session. So to start off with, let's practice our scoop. So just rest your hands onto the front of your thighs and very, very gently just start to pull your belly button in towards your spine and sort of in kind of an in and up, like you're scooping out your belly with an ice cream scoop, and release. And again, pull that belly button in and up and release. And we'll do that 2 more times. Belly button pulling in and up and release. And this is your last one. And I want you to just gently hold it. So we're not kind of like 100% gripping, we're just softly scooping through the abs. And from here, keeping that scoop, I want you to see if you can breathe into the rib cage. So nice and wide breaths, full exhales. You're just going to have a couple of those, just practicing that breath as you softly scoop. And then from here, I want you to just sit yourself back in your chair. And you're going to sit all the way back, so that the back of your rib cage can feel the back of your chair. And I want you to just have a moment here to sense that connection of your chair and your ribs. So we're going to do an exercise called rib cage arms, and I don't want you to lose that connection. I don't want you to let these ribs lift away from your chair as we move. So bring your arms in front of you. You're sitting up tall, your ribs are glued to your chair, and you're going to slowly start to lift both of these arms towards the ceiling. But we're not going to make it to the ceiling because we want to keep the ribs going backwards into the chair. And if we go too far back, the ribs are going to pop open and we're going to lose the ab connection. So just a nice gentle lift, pulling these ribs in, and then bring the arms back down. And again, lift the arms up, those ribs pull together across your front, and then lower the arms back down. And we'll do 3 more. Keep breathing as the arms lift and as they lower. And these are your last 2. Can you get heavier with those ribs to the chair? And here's your last one. Shoulders down the back of your body as you move. And pause. Now we're going to circle. So the arms are going to come up, out, watch those ribs, and around and back to the beginning. And we come up and the ribs get heavier and heavier towards the chair and back. So all the time you've got this nice strong scoop of the abs to sort of knit these ribs together across the body. Let's go the other way, down, around and up. Shoulders are down away from the ears. And this is your last one. And pause and rest. So that's even like a bit of work on the arms there. So now you're going to slide yourself forwards in the chair. Or I'll give you 2 options. If you feel more stable, sitting all the way back, stay there. We're going to do some roll-ups. Otherwise, you're going to come to the front. Your hands are by your side and you're going to nod your chin towards your chest. And now you're going to start to roll yourself down. So you're going to keep yourself just rolling 1 bone at a time. You're going to try not to sort of round backwards so your spine is still long and then it rounds over at the top. And you're just going to keep going, pulling in the abdominals, super strong. Hands are just hanging heavy and you're going as low as you feel comfortable. Just feeling a nice stretch through the spine. And then we're going to restack from the bottom all the way up. Belly button pulling in, ribs pulling back even deeper like your chair is behind you all the way to the top. And again, rolling it down, bone by bone. Spine stretches to the ceiling before it rounds over. And then restack with control. Keep breathing. And again, head nods in and we stretch this spine up to go over. And up, taller, taller, taller to the top. You've got 2 more. Rounding that spine. Exhaling all of your air. Inhaling room between the bones of the back. This is your last one. coming to rest tall at the top. And when you get to the top, if you've been sitting back, you're going to come all the way forward, so you're right at the front. Your hands are just going to gently hold the front of your chair. So no white knuckling it, just nice soft fingers. We're going to picture a tray in our lap. And from here, without knocking the tray, you're just going to start to lengthen out your right leg, and the heel is actually going to lift off the floor because you want to keep this tray level across the thighs. And then you're going to bend the leg back in. And again, you're going to reach this heel as far as you can away from you, using the quad, the top of the thigh, and then come back in. And 3 more. Are you scooping so that posture stays tall and stable? So if you notice, my upper body is not moving, the only thing changing is my leg. This is your last one. Reach that heel, use that quad, and set the foot back down. Let's change legs. Stretch the heel away to lift. Thighs are level, tray is balanced. And again, reach, use that quad. So this is great for strengthening around the knee. Let's do 3 more. And in, tall as the leg reaches, and in, and this is your last one. Big stretch, and lower the leg down. So from here, we'll go back to the right leg. Again, hands can stay on the thighs or just gently hold around your chair. And we're going to straighten the right leg. And again, the heel is going to lift. So it's like you're coming into that position that you were just in. And from here, you're going to lift and lower this leg. Now notice as I lift, I'm not going to round and dump into my lower back. My spine is going to stay upright. And I'm going to lift this leg from my belly and down. Just a little lift. Reach as far away like you're trying to touch your screen with your heel. Let's go for 2 more. Lift, scoop, and change sides. Left leg. Lift, and lift. Pull this leg up from the belly. You've got 2 more. Whole body still. Just work that leg. Last one. Set the foot down. Good job. So now let's think more about the abs. So I'm going to have you, you're right on the edge of your chair. You're going to start to bring your body backwards, just the body. The bum's going to stay forward, and you're going to start to just gently round yourself backwards. So one of the ways of doing this is to pull your belly button in towards your spine and to feel that spine round, kind of curve towards the back of the chair. So you'll see now, you might be able to see that like the tips of my shoulders or the bottom of my shoulder blades is just touching the top of my chair. Everyone's chairs are different, but that's the kind of guide. And my whole body is hollowed out. It's like I'm the fabric in a deck chair. And my whole body is that lovely, just curved position of the fabric. My hands are going to rest, just to begin with, on the sides of the chair. And I'm going to lengthen my left leg out. Okay. So there are a couple of options here, but we'll start with this left leg straight and we'll see how we go. So from here, you're going to pull your right knee into your chest by scooping it up from the belly. And if you want, you can add the hands to just pull it in a bit deeper. Now set the leg down, scoop, scoop, scoop through the abdominals, pull in the left leg and switch. So you're going to keep alternating, hollowing out the abdominals. Now what I want you to think about in this position, if this is too hard for you, you feel like your back is arching, it's really struggling to keep that scoop, then you're going to bend the leg that's on the floor and you're going to go from here. So just alternating bent legs, okay? So you've got those options as we move. Let's go for just 1 more and pause. So now we're going to do both legs together. So if you were finding that previous exercise a challenge, you can just sit up and have a stretch and then stay with that previous exercise. If it was okay, then you're going to move on to the next level. We're going to refine our hammock position. So we're going to scoop through the abdominals and we're going to roll ourselves back in this nice strong deck chair. We're going to lift up onto our tiptoes. I'm going to zip my legs together so I can use my inner thighs and my glutes a bit. And from here, I'm going to try and pick up both of my legs together. Now this is a lot harder, really scoop through the abdominals to lift and to lower. Hands can be on the chair, they might be behind your head, wherever you feel comfortable. Just scoop these ribs in super deep, lower them down. Now this is much harder. So again, if it's too much of a challenge, just come onto the tiptoes and try and lift one leg at a time with one leg resting on the tiptoes at all times. So see, you can almost scissor the legs, and that just makes it a little bit of a more gentle movement. And then you're going to set the feet down on the floor, and you're going to set the body back up. So you're right on the edge of your chair. You're going to bring your hands now and put them behind your head, palm over palm, right at the base of the head. And I want you to lengthen your head up into those hands, the elbows are wide, and you're lifted through the spine, but these ribs are not popping open, they're connected, they're strongly engaged across your front. So from here, without moving the ribs, without letting them lift, you're going to lean yourself backwards. So you're just going to very gently start to lean yourself back, and then you're going to come back up to the top. And you're going to lean yourself back. Those ribs are going to get heavier and stronger together and come back up to the top. So you only go as far back as you can stop these ribs from opening out. So it doesn't need to be a big movement. And we'll go for 2 more. Nice little lean, exhale your air to the top. And again, leaning, lengthening into those hands and exhaling to the top. And now bring those arms by your side for mermaid. Left arm reaches up to the ceiling, and we're going to stretch over. So the right hand is just going to slide down your chair leg so you can get this lovely stretch through the side. Just notice how heavy my hips are into my chair. And my abdominals are going to lift me all the way back up. And again, I'm going to slide over. I'm trying to go lower every time, but my abdominals are strong to pull me to the top. And again, reach it over. And reach back up, and let's change arms. Right arm up, left arm slides down the chair and come all the way back up. And again, watch the legs. Are they strongly pressing into the floor and come back up? And this is your last one. Over, abs lift you back up and pause. Now put your hand back behind your head. So the movement that we did a moment ago where we hinged backwards, we're now going to reverse. So we're going to hinge forward. Same thing goes with the ribs. They're going to stay connected to your spine. So we're long, we're tall in our hands, and we're going to lean it forward. And then the ribs and the abs are like an elevator. They're going to slowly control me back up to the top. And I'm going to lean forward. And I'm going to lift back up. And you've got 3 more. Keep strong and straight through the body. And 2. And here's your last one. Ribs in, flat to the back, and pause. Bring the arms down, and let's do some twisting through the spine. So I'm going to place my right hand, front of my hand, on the outside of my left leg. This just helps to give me a bit of traction. It makes for a much nicer stretch, but just take it gently and see what feels good for your body. My left hand is either going to reach around the outside of the chair, or I might rest it on the top of my chair, again, so I can get a bit more traction. So I'm going to start to just rotate through my body, twisting my spine. My hips are still, my legs are still, they're not kind of moving around. I'm trying to get all the rotation through my ribs, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to go the other way. And you might have one side that's easier to keep everything still and steady than the other. And switch. Just finding that position that works for you, where you feel that nice stretch through the spine. We'll just go for 1 more on each side, and go that a little bit further each time you move. And pause. So now let's work those legs. So you're going to put your hands, the palm of your hands, on the outside of your thigh. So it's not right on the knee. It's not on the bum, it's just somewhere in the middle. Your feet are a hip width apart, and you're sitting up super tall. Now all I want you to do is to press your hands into your thighs and resist with the thighs. So the legs won't move, and release. You're going to feel this through the legs. And again. And release. Trying to keep those legs as still as you can, and release. You're going to feel this through the legs and through the arms. Do 2 more. And this is your last one. Press as hard as you can, try and close those legs, but resist and release. Let's go the other way. Hands go on the inside. So you might want to do it this way with the palms facing each other or the palms facing out. Again, just see what works for your wrists, where you can get the most pressure safely. So you're going to press against these legs and you're going to try and close those inner thighs together and resist. And again, press and resist. So again, you might try changing the hands and resist. Let's go for 2 more. Feel those inner thighs and resist. And here's your last one. And pause. Brilliant. So the glutes, the bum. From here, you've got various options. So let's work through them one at a time. And you can always go back to the first one or the previous one. Sit up tall. Without lifting anything off your chair, I just want you to have this sense of squeezing your sits bones together. You should feel yourself gently sort of rise, like you've kind of perched off the chair, and release. And you're going to squeeze those sits bones together and release. It's like a kind of gentle squeeze of the bottom and release. We'll go for 2 more. So this is something that you can do anywhere. It's a great little exercise, this one. And now we're going to see if we can get some lift. So you can either have your hands on your thighs. If you've got a wider chair, so mine's quite narrow, you might want to hold just very gently on the sides of your chair, but try not to use those hands too much. So we're going to lean our body forward like we did when we had our hands behind our head. So the ribs are strong and the abs are strong. Our feet are still a hip width apart. And from here, we're going to try and lift a couple of centimeters off the chair. But instead of just sort of lifting up any old how, I really want you to think about these muscles that we were working. So I want you to keep the knees in line with the hips when you move. So often when we lift, I'm going to dig my heels in, use the bottom of the bottom to lift. The knees like to roll in or roll out. And we want to keep them still. So that's why we're making this movement nice and small. It's just a tiny little lift and a lower. So essentially you're going as high as you can without letting the legs move. And you've almost got this moment at the top of the movement. So here to think, oh, if my knee's gone in, I'm just going to adjust them and lower back down. So we'll go for 3 more. I'm really digging my heels in so I can really activate my bum. Abs are lifting just as much as my bum. Let's go for 1 more. And pause. Now, if that felt good, you can go into essentially a bridge. You're going to put your hands on the back of your chair. So right towards the back. Again, the feet are a hip width apart. The knees are in line with the hips. So from here, you're going to push your hips up into the air, just like you would in a bridge. And then you're going to lower it back down, barely rest it and lift it back up. So we're trying not to sit down each time. We're trying to keep the bum nice and engaged. Let's go for 2 more. Dig those heels in. Remember, you can go back to any previous exercise if this is too much of a challenge, and then rest down. Now from here, let's see what happens when we stand up. So we're going to just stand up. You can stand up however you need to, or you can practice standing from this squatting position, leaning forwards, pushing through the heels to come to stand, no movement through the knees. And now let's go top to bottom. So again, know where your chair is. I want you to feel comfortable with where that position of the chair is. You can either have your hands on your hips or straight in front of you. And now we're going to start to sink backwards as if we're trying to sit in the chair, and then we're going to push through the bottom of the bottom and the heels to stand. So we sink back, I'm squeezing my sits bones, and I'm going to squeeze them more to come up to stand. Let's go for 3. Feel like your bum, it's like an elevator, it's gently pushing you up and it's controlling you back down. Watch those knees. And come up, and this is your last one. Sink into that chair and come up. And you're only going to go as low as you can control your knees. So we're nearly at the end. And to finish with is a nice little balance exercise. So if your balance is feeling a little bit shaky, I want you to stand next to your chair or behind your chair so that you can hold on to the back of it. If you're feeling comfortable, then don't lose the chair, but kind of know it's there. So you're going to stand with your feet a hip width apart, And your hands can be on the hips, out to the sides, or holding just very lightly onto the chair back. We're going to do calf raises. So you're just going to roll up through the foot onto the tiptoes, and then you're going to lower it with control. So just like when we did our squats, and I said that the bottom of the bottom, it's like an elevator supporting you up. I want you to feel that here as well. So kind of almost think less about the toes, what the feet are doing, and more about what your bum and your abdominals are doing. They are your strong support, lifting you tall and lowering you back down. So you've got 3 more. Nice and balanced. And down, lift, and down. And this is your last one. Lift, see if you can hold it for a moment. And lower with control. You're going to rest those arms down by your side, and that's you done. A nice little workout for the chair, for the whole body. Give it a go, let me know how you get on with it. And do share these videos with people that you know. So I'm Emma, Engineered Well Pilates, and I provide personalised Pilates videos just for you. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.